Hello and welcome to Our Ohio.
Thanks for joining us today.
Well, when you think about Longhorn cattle, you probably think about Texas. Well, think again, because in Belmont County, there's a herd of about 1,400 of the finest cattle you'll ever see.
The Dickinson Cattle Company maintains the herd on its 4,000-acre ranch. Even though a lot of the herding is done using Honda all-terrain vehicles, the Dickinson folks are real cowboys. It's an old-time Western lifestyle that's found a new home in Ohio.
We raised our family in Colorado, El Paso County, Colorado, and it was a dry, high elevation area. So it took about 40 acres per cow in that country. So here in Ohio, we're looking at 4 acres per cow. So it costs you less tax, and you can have your cattle confined in a smaller area, and it reduces your management cost. In Colorado, we had an 11-inch annual rainfall, and here we're about 41 inches average rainfall. So you just get 4 times or 5 times as much grass, and you get a longer growing season here. We're running cattle on around 5,000 acres and 43 pastures right now. Every pasture has running water in it. Running water is just economical water. If it runs, you don't have to break ice in the winter. It's the Lord's way of watering the livestock. We thought Ohio was past being a cattle state. We thought most of the state was divided up into checkerboards of small farms that were 50 and 100 acres or 150 and wouldn't run enough cattle to feed a family, to do a business. We didn't think we could put together several thousand acres of land in Ohio. We knew we could do it in Colorado or the West, but we didn't think we could do it in Ohio. And when we found out there were thousands of acres of land, of reclaimed mine land that was great grazing land, well, we were excited about getting back here. So we came back September of '93 and finally closed on this place May 1 of '94. Most of the property is 10 grasses, 5 legumes, 5 non-legumes. So the cattle graze year-round, and when the ground gets covered with snow, well, we feed hay. When we came to this country, we thought it was a horse country and that we would work horses here. And the ranch is a little over 4 miles east to west and about 2 miles north and south. And the hills and the mud and tall grass and snow just wears a horse down. So now we use Honda four-wheelers. We put out minerals, we feed, check fences, gather the cattle. We treat a Honda just like you would treat a horse, and they don't get tired and they don't limp, and just keep them rolling. The types of cattle that have worked good for us for actually 38 years, the best is Texas Longhorn cattle. They've got a lot of different ways that you can be profitable with them. Dutch Bulingo cattle is our second breed, and they're very flamboyant, a breed with a white belt. And the African Watusis, they have a small fan club, but the people that like them really like them. So they make a striking pasture animal with huge horn. We have some with over 80-inch horn tip to tip, and they grow really fast horn. If you like a real big exhibition animal that people will stop and leave some skid marks on the pavement, well, you can do that with African Watusis. The Texas Longhorn breed is so good in this area because they eat a lot of brush. They have an early puberty. They calve unassisted. We only assist about 1 in 1,300 calves at birth. So most of them weigh 60, 65 pounds at birth, and our bulls will mature to over a ton. So the Longhorns will live and produce into their late teens or early 20s. That's a good profit thing. And they're just a breed that doesn't require very much labor. So we look at labor costs and the cost of raising cattle, and we feel we can raise 5 Longhorn calves for the cost of raising about 3 of some of the other breeds. Well, last summer there was one time we had a little over 1,600 head, and that's a little more than we should have on this amount of property. We get something close, somewhere around 50 miles of fence, and most of the fence on the ranch is either 4 or 5 wires. So if you were to take all of the wire on the property and tie it together and make one strand, you could stretch it right down I-70, and you could tie it around the tree in Pennsylvania and the other end around a tree in Indiana. 90% of our income is from the sale of breeding stock. On our Longhorns, we'll get somewhere close to 500 calves this year, and we'll keep about 60 bulls for herd sires. We'll use some of those ourselves. We'll sell some. We'll keep some for exhibition steers. We'll keep some for our feeder steers that we feed out and sell in our store. Then on our heifers, most of our heifers sell for breeding stock. Well, we've worked really hard to acquire every really top bloodline that we could find. And we started in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and we've searched for those best cattle. And in the registered seed stock business, you're selling a genetic improvement. You're selling somebody a bull that will advance his herd. So we have to be in a position to sell people cattle that will help them be more profitable. Otherwise, it's just commercial business and you don't have much of a markup. Sadie Sam is one of our cows that was international champion 3 years ago at Louisville, and she's the dam of Winchester, who was an international champion at the Lansing, Michigan show in 2000. We go to about 3 shows a year, and we try to take good cattle to show people what we're producing here. When you're looking at inventory on our website, whether it's Watusi or Longhorns or Bulingos, and you can go back, sometimes up to 12 generations, all on our computer website. You can know more about a purchase from our company than anybody in the nation. Well, we started raising them right after my wife and I were married in '67. We really enjoy the breed. Longhorn has a great romance to it that's beyond other breeds of cattle. People think of the Old West, John Wayne, of honesty, integrity, hard work. When Linda and I started in the Longhorn business back in '67, we had an old $500 car we traded for, an old Mercury. And we'd get in that old car if it would start, and we'd go out in the pasture and look at the cattle and just hope one would lay down and have a calf. And we'd spend hours just hoping to see a calf born or see a new calf. And I guess we were kind of simple because we've been excited about it now. This is coming on the 39th year we're excited about it. In Ohio, we see a lot of people that take pride in their farms and raising their families on the farm. And the thing I regret about coming to Ohio is that we didn't come 30 years sooner.
The Dickinson Cattle Company is located in Barnesville, just off I-70 in Belmont County. To learn more, including tour information, visit our website at ourohio.org.